So I'm Marcin Kleczynski, founder and CEO of Malwarebytes. I started the company when I got infected at home with a piece of malware and didn't really know what to do. I realized that traditional antivirus was already failing the world, and I decided to solve that problem. Today, we're an endpoint security company serving millions of consumers, thousands of businesses. We provide endpoint security that can remediate an existing problem and prevent it from happening going forward. Security professionals are not equipped to deal with today's threats and the threat landscape. In fact, they are severely under budget. Companies are not simply paying for security as they should be. There's also a huge shortage of cybersecurity professionals in the world, estimated to be about 2 million people. And even at the universities that are training these professionals, the output is simply not there. So if you look at the threat landscape as it continues to evolve and as it continues to get more aggressive, cybersecurity professionals are not able to keep up for those reasons. If you look at a traditional organization today, there's a CIO, Chief Information Officer, a CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, and the CISO reports to the CIO, which is a very interesting structure. When it comes to actually figuring out the budget, the CIO can push back on the CISO, and when security fails, it's actually the CISO that's responsible. So I do think that the structure in any organization today is kind of the first problem that needs to be solved, and then the funding from the board level really needs to be improved going forward. One of the biggest attacks facing companies today is ransomware, and ransomware started about 4 years ago as a really consumer attack where a consumer would be affected by this ransomware attack. It would encrypt all of the files and hold it ransom for $500. And in recent months, we've seen a huge transition from just consumers to enterprises. And you look at Hollywood Presbyterian, a very newsworthy attack that happened in LA. A hospital was their patient data was ransomed and held for millions of dollars, eventually settling for $18,000. But it's an attack that we're going to see more often. We have seen more often, and it's going to start affecting bigger and bigger enterprises. There's a lot of initiatives a business can take to prevent against ransomware attacks. The first is obviously backing up the data that can be ransomed. If you have backups of the data, the number one thing you can do is to restore it and never have to pay the ransom. The second best thing, of course, you can do is to prevent against the ransomware from ever getting onto the machine. And there's multiple vectors of attack that you need to prevent. The first is email, having a good email security program in place. The next is endpoint security, having a great endpoint security product, not only anti-malware, but anti-exploit, and even companies coming out with anti-ransomware products like Malwarebytes would be useful in the attack against ransomware. And finally, having the latest patches, closing all the vulnerabilities in commonly exploited software like the operating system itself, Adobe Flash, Java, and even antivirus software would be a critical way to prevent these ransomware attacks going forward.